Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to a Moss and Hip Hop video. Now, I think I figured out this situation with Joe Budden and Migos and Lil Yachty and that situation, even though that this situation is more than old. Like, it would, I would say that it's in line for, like, history, like music history. But anyways, so for those that don't know that situation, like what happened between Joe Budden, Migos, and Lil Yachty. So it all started. I mean, when you sit down and think about it, like when I'm like finished with this and stuff, it really all started with Joe Budden's career, And I think a lot of like older artists can most likely agree with what I'm saying. But yeah, like there's like a part of like music. I would have to say now it's different, but back then, like it was a good idea to sign with a record label, but it probably now today, like there's like ways that people, I guess artists try to like work around it to make sure that they keep all of their music and stuff. But I don't know, maybe it's the same exact thing that's going on right now. Maybe the music industry has never really changed. But anyways, so I'm gonna get to where it all started for you guys, and then kind of like dabble back and forth in history and stuff. So, anyways, so Little Yachty. So there's this podcast show called Everyday Struggle. At the time, Joe Budden was on there. DJ Academics. I can't think of the girl's name. I do apologize if she sees this video, but she's on there too. So, anyways, so Lil Yachty, he's a guest on the show. And at some point in time, they started talking about like record labels and music and all of that stuff. So that raised like a light bulb across Joe Budden's head and stuff, because he was wondering like, yo, what kind of contract did you sign? So overall, he's trying to figure it out. Lil Yachty, I think he said that he didn't really know too much about it, because he might have, like, the situation might be where Lil Yachty might have had like a lawyer look into it and made sure everything was legit. So he made sure, like, I think that could be the reason, allegedly the reason. I don't know for sure, but anyways, so Joe Biden's not having it. Joe Biden, or not Biden, Button. That's where it's like, bro, I knew I was gonna make that mistake. Not Joe Biden, not the current president of the United States. Joe Budden, bro. Somebody gonna have to change their name. All right. So, anyways, I think if I ever do a video about President Biden, that's what I'm gonna refer to him as, President Biden. But anyways, Joe Budden. So he ain't having it. He's all like, no. Did you look at the contract? Did you hear what you had to say? And then Lil Yachty got on something about being happy. Joe Budden's all like, what are you over here talking about happiness for? No, we all gotta be angry. He didn't say that. But overall, like, he was trying to, like, make sure that Lil Yachty is a smart kid, So anyways, it leads into a beef. It leads into a legitimate beef. So fast forwards, the BET Awards, Everyday Struggle, they're sitting down talking with Migos. And the vibe with them, if you go back and watch that video, the vibe between them just wasn't good. Wasn't good at all, all right? Anybody can watch that video and be like, yeah, something ain't right here. So, it kind of almost leads into a fight. It almost kind of like something almost goes down. And then security got involved, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, at that point, Migos was dissing Joe Budden. Joe Budden was dissing Migos. And yeah, now it's like, a beef. But it's over with now. It's over with like that. They're not beefing anymore, but I don't think that they're on good terms. I think that they're like, nah, you stay in your lane and I'll stay in my lane. So the reason why I think that everything happened was because Migos is mad at the fact that they thought Joe Budden was trying to like call them out, because Lil Yachty is signed to Migos' record label, which is Quality Control Music. Let me just make sure. Hold on for a second. Loading. This is Joe. Okay, so hold on. Let me scroll up to, at some point in time, Migos, Quality Control, current acts. I guess he never was signed to. Oh no, he is. I was all like, I just seen Lil Baby and was all like, I guess he wasn't. But no, so yeah, one of their current acts is Lil Yachty. So Migos had took disrespect to what Joe Budden was asking Lil Yachty and stuff, because they're like, in their mind, they're like, yo, why is he talking bad on our label? Or like, why is he trying to make it seem like we trying to scam this kid? We just trying to do good things for this kid, you know? So they kind of took like a little disrespect towards that. So that's why Migos is mad. But the reason why Joe Budden brought all that stuff up is because when you sit down and think about it, like, and just like, even before, like before the pandemic, when have you, and I guess, like, you know, he has like retired from music, but at some point in time, like, but it's like, when have you seen this man like perform any of his like big songs and something? I'm not saying that he can't, but if he does, his record label, and I looked to see who he was signed to, and it was Def Jam Recordings. So if he performs any of that music, it's all of that money is going to them. So that's why if you see Joe Biden doing his podcast, that's why you see him doing any of his own stuff, it is all underneath him. Because I remember listening to a podcast of his where he was overall talking on, I can't remember if it was iHeartRadio or Spotify, or somebody was trying to buy his podcast, the Joe Budden podcast. I almost said Joe Biden, but the Joe Budden podcast. And he was overall like, I think they were just trying to like buy it from him, so they're making the money. Because, yo, his podcast is a pretty big podcast. Like, I would say that it's a pretty big deal. Like, I'm saying, if he called me to be on his podcast, I definitely would take that. Because I'm like, yo, that's like, I feel like that's an opportunity. That's a door opener for some people. You get on his podcast, like, it's gonna be something, you know? So his podcast, if it's not already big and famous, it's going to be big and famous. Because I'm like, yo, podcasts are the thing now. So, of course, his rising podcast, and it's, I would say in a way it is like an independent podcast, but I think it is like overall signed underneath him. But let me go back and just make sure. The Joe Biden button. I looked at it and seen and still said Biden. Bro, I need to stop. All right. But anyways, it just says that they don't really say anything about host, or not who hosting, but who owns the podcast. But yeah, Joe Biden. It's overall named after him, so he owns it and stuff. So yeah, he was overall just making sure that Lil Yachty was getting his money, all right? And then, yeah, Migos took offense to it. So I think that's why Migos was bad and being kind of, you know, weird towards him. Because if it had been like that with any other artist that wasn't signed with them, that interview with Everyday Struggle when Joe Budden was on there and Migos was there, it probably wouldn't have been as awkward, you know? Because it's like, if you look at these guys when they're on, what was it, sneaker shopping, the complex sneaker shopping, they wasn't like acting weird. I mean, but I feel like all rappers act weird on that show, so I can't really necessarily say that, like, you know, like they didn't act weird on there. All rappers do, but they wasn't acting as weird. They were a little bit more talkative on there and on that sneaker shopping show. So Joe Budden was just making sure Lil Yachty was in a good contract. Lil Yachty was just trying to be happy. Migos felt like Joe Budden was calling them out. Joe Budden, you know, dealt with some stuff with his music back in the day. So overall, that's why that whole situation went down. And I figured it out. I solved it. Most likely there's probably other people that figured it out, but I figured it out. I figured it out on my own. I ain't have to like look up nowhere. If there is anybody else that came up with the same idea, or they said the same thing I did, then I'm like, cool, you know, we all on the same page, all right? But anyways, shout out to the other people that figured it out too. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's been another Moss and Hip Hop video. Stay tuned for some more videos, and peace.